Hey, welcome to another Sunday shout out. Today we're going to hang out with Bob's Books. Bob has some great stuff. Let's have a look at some of these playlists she's got. She does do a little bit of young adult, but as she's doing mainly books without barcodes. So those are books from pre 1970, whenever barcodes came in. These are obviously older books. So she's of a younger generation. I'm guessing she calls one of her videos a Tony Hawk 700 degree hit, and she at one point is talking about some anime that didn't quite nail the endings. So she is yeah, I think I'm thinking younger than me, but very much appreciative of these old books, which I really appreciate. And because they're older books, she can talk about them without spoilers. She could have a take on the books, which is amazing, because so many of the reviews on BookTube in sci-fi, especially, not so much with the much to say without spoilers. And she has a take on things. She finds good and bad stuff in all of it. So she does exactly what, one 21st century book here? Yeah, Uncommon Reader. So you can see it's mainly going to be this older stuff. She does do the Nebula Awards. So, the BookTube loves their awards. But here it's mainly fantasy and sci-fi, right? So about 2-1 for the sci-fi. 40 Santa science fiction, Santa Fe, 40 science fiction to 22 fantasy. That's what I must have been trying to say. And about half of those fantasy are going to be the Will White Cradle series, which she really loves. She's got an amazing emotional engagement with the work she's looking at, while still having the distance to really look at it, and take some things apart. But she's going to find stuff to praise, stuff to criticize in these books, and she's going to have a take on them. And that's what I'm really looking forward in our in the reviews that I'm watching on BookTube. So here, let's go through books without barcodes, for example. So now I've recently discovered her, so I haven't seen the vast bulk of her stuff as I have with a lot of the other people I'll be talking about. I've watched about half of her stuff. I think all or most of this series. So she's got just great these titles. Everything on this cover is a lie. We can say that of half the people's what do they call those thumbnails, right, on YouTube and BookTube, alas. Not hers. Hers are great. I have some thoughts. Okay, that's the sort of typical of her generation, but most of them are going to be a little more deep than that. Refreshing perspective, humanity, mortality, and isolation. That's Tau Zero. You got the worst book ever finished. She also has what is it called here? Glad I Didn't DNF, The Forever War by Joe Haldeman. Bleak But Beautiful is Picnic on Paradise by Joanna Russ. What would you do to live forever? She's got these questions. She's got ideas. Will Conquering the Flesh Conquer Mars? The Man Who Never Was. So she doesn't just do sci-fi and fantasy, because this is actually history. I didn't watch this one because I recently saw a movie about this. It was a diversion that they used in World War II to create a fake corpse with papers to make them think that the landing was going to happen somewhere other than Normandy. Okay, so what else we got? The Audience Decides. This is interesting. This is about a play by Ayn Rand, who is Bob Book's favorite, or at least her favorite book is by Ayn Rand. Atlas Shrugged, I believe it was, which is very interesting because she describes herself as a leftist. So she will surprise you. And that's what I'm talking about. She's not going to let politics stop her from enjoying an author whose prose she really likes, world building. What did she like about Ayn Rand? She loves her female characters, that they're sexual beings, things of that nature. So she's got reasons why she likes, which I can agree with about Ayn Rand. Personally, I do find, not just because I don't like her philosophy, but I find it, kind of thrown in pretty heavy-handedly. But she got Brilliant Disappointment. So this is the one I'm going to recommend. The Brilliant Disappointment, the Einstein intersection. She's got Barren Big Black Space, Broken Fix-Up. She doesn't like fix-ups in general, where, where they take a bunch of different stories and try to make them into one novel. She's never read one of those that she liked. Victorian sci-fi. Nobody Puts Miranda in a Corner. Filler-free sci-fi. So the worst book she ever finished was Prison Planet by Victor. Someone. Refreshing Perspective. Okay, actually, some of the titles in her sci-fi series are a little more creative than these, but I think you get the sense that this is a witty, creative, fun analyst of a reader and reviewer, I guess I'm going to say, she's got shorter reviews than Owen's. And yeah, so check this out. I think you will very much enjoy it. I've certainly enjoyed her content, and their content. I don't know the pronouns, and I will continue to watch. In real life, she mentioned apropos of a book that was like a fantasy set in Mayan background, that she mentioned she's a archaeologist in real life, and that that the dig sites are cruelly boring, which I can agree, having been on one, and that so was that book. So great metaphors like that. All right, I'm sure I could think of a million other things to say, but let's leave it at that. So check out Bob's books, especially the books without barcode series.